Andy Reid. Andrew Walter Reid, born March 19, 1958, is an American football coach who is the head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs of the National Football League (NFL). Reid was previously head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles from 1999 to 2012. From 2001 to 2012, he was also the Eagles' executive vice president of football operations, becoming the general manager. He is the only NFL coach to win 100 games and appear in 4 consecutive conference championships with 2 different franchises. American football coach, born 1958. For other people named Andy Reid, see Andy Reid. Disambiguation. American football player. Reid began his professional coaching career with the Green Bay Packers, where he served as an offensive assistant from 1992 to 1998 and won a Super Bowl title in Super Bowl XXXI. He held his first head coaching position with the Eagles in 1999, who became perennial postseason contenders under his leadership. Reid led the Eagles to 9 playoff runs, 6 division titles, 5 NFC championship games, including 4 consecutive from 2001 to 2004, and an appearance in Super Bowl XXXIX. Despite his success, Reid was unable to win a Super Bowl title, and he left Philadelphia in 2012 amid a team Declan hired as the head coach of the Chiefs in 2013. Reid helped revitalize the struggling franchise. He helped end the 8-game playoff losing streak that began in 1993. In 10 seasons with Kansas City, he has led them to successful seasons with 9 postseason appearances, 7 division titles, 5 consecutive AFC championship games, 3 Super Bowl appearances, and a Super Bowl title in Super Bowl LIV, the franchise's first in 50 years and Reid's first as a head coach. Early life. Reid was born in Los Angeles on March 19, 1958. He attended John Marshall High School and worked as a vendor at Dodger Stadium as a teenager. He also played youth sports in East Hollywood at Lemon Grove Recreation Center. Pete Arbogast was one of his coaches. Arbogast is the radio announcer for the USC football team and was the radio play-by-play announcer for the Cincinnati Bengals. In 1971, at age 13, Reid was on Monday Night Football participating in the punt, pass, and kick competition. He was already so large that he wore the jersey of Les Josephsons, 207 pounds. Reid played offensive tackle at Glendale Community College in Glendale, California, and planned to transfer to Stanford but injured his knee. BYU head coach LaVale Edwards wanted Reid's teammate and best friend Randy Tidwell, and also recruited him to the team to help persuade Tidwell to come to BYU. At BYU, Reid was a teammate of Jim McMahon and Tom Holmoe. Teammates recalled that Reid did not play often but was very analytical, closely studying Edwards and offensive coordinator Doug Scoville. BYU won the 1980 Holiday Bowl in his senior year. Reid had thought of becoming a writer, but frequent questions to Edwards about football strategy caused the head coach to suggest coaching as a career. After graduating from BYU in 1981, Reid spent 1 year as a graduate assistant on the school's football coaching staff. Colleagues included Scoville, Norm Chow, and Mike Holmgren. He spent the next 9 years as an offensive line coach with 4 colleges, including in 1986 with Northern Arizona University when he coached Frank Pollock, who went on to play for 6 seasons with the San Francisco Warriors. Reid was hired by Holmgren at the Green Bay Packers in 1992. The same year, quarterback Brett Favre became a member of that team. In 1995, he became the assistant offensive line and tight ends coach, where he helped lead the 1996 team to a Super Bowl XXXI win over the New England Patriots. Reid was named the Packers quarterbacks coach in 1997, replacing Marty Morthenweg, who left to be the offensive coordinator for his predecessor in Green Bay, Steve Mariucci. Mariucci wanted Reid to be his offensive coordinator in San Francisco, but Holmgren prevented the move following a league worst season in 1998. The Philadelphia Eagles fired head coach Ray Rhodes and began a comprehensive search for replacement. The Eagles initially considered hiring Holmgren to replace Rhodes, but Holmgren instead joined the Seattle Seahawks as head coach and urged Eagles owner Jeff Lurie to hire Reid. Simultaneously, Eagles president Joe Banner felt that the team needed a detail-oriented head coach after the team's steady decline under Rhodes. As Banner began his search for a new head coach, He asked other teams' general managers for names of coaches that players complained were excessively detail-oriented. Reid's name surfaced, and Reid emerged as a leading candidate for the Eagles' head coaching job, consistent with his reputation for a focus on football details. Reid arrived at his interview with the Eagles with a 5-inch thick book he developed on how he would go about running the team if given the job. The Eagles hired Reid on January 11, 1999. He was the second youngest head coach in the league after John Gruden and the first then to be hired as a head coach without first having served as an offensive or defensive coordinator. Some in the Philadelphia news media criticized the hiring, citing the availability of other candidates who had already served previously as successful head coaches. As he said about leading the Eagles, one of Reid's first major decisions was drafting dual-threat quarterback Donovan McNabb in the first round with the second overall pick. Though Reid started former Packers backup Doug Peterson in the first 9 games of the 1999 season. In Reid's first season in Philadelphia, the Eagles improved their record by 2 games over 1998, finishing. Among the 5 wins was the team's first road victory in 19 games, a road victory over the Chicago Bears on October 17. In 2000, the Eagles posted a regular season record and won their first playoff game since the 1995 season, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Philadelphia on New Year's Eve in 2001. Reid's Eagles won the first of 4 consecutive NFC East titles, the longest such streak in franchise history, and advanced to the conference championship game in 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004, losing this game on the first 3 occasions. The 2003 team qualified for postseason play after opening the season with 2 losses, both at home, and was also the first NFL team ever to reach the conference title round of the playoffs after having been shut out at home on opening day. The 2004 team was the second NFC East squad to defeat all of its division rivals New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, and Washington Redskins twice during the same regular season. The Dallas Cowboys did it in 1998. The 2004 Eagles clinched the NFC seed with a record and proceeded to rest their starters for the final 2 games. After 3 straight NFC championship losses, the team beat the Atlanta Falcons by a score of and made it to Super Bowl XXXIX but fell to the New England Patriots. For in 2001, Reid was named Executive Vice President of Football Operations of the Eagles, effectively making him the team's general manager. Although the Eagles had general managers after 2005, Tom Heckert from 2005 to 2010 and Howie Roseman from 2010 until Reid's departure, Reid had the final say on football matters. Reid speaks with Eagles quarterback Jeff Garcia during a December 10, 2006 game against the Washington Redskins. 2005 season was difficult for Reid as he sought to deal with wide receiver Terrell Owens' flamboyant persona, which forced Reid to permanently deactivate him midway through the 2005 season. A couple of weeks later, quarterback Donovan McNabb suffered a season-ending injury, leaving the Eagles without the services of 2 of their star players. The Eagles lost 8 of their last 10 games and finished on the bright side with their 3rd win of the season, a win over the Oakland Raiders. Reid passed Greasy Neal to become the winningest coach in franchise history. Eagles enjoyed a roller coaster campaign under Reid in 2006. The season appeared to be lost by October with another season-ending injury to McNabb, turning a start into a midseason breakdown which left the team after an embarrassing defeat at the hands of the Indianapolis Colts. The Eagles were on the verge of elimination from the playoffs. Reid coached backup quarterback Jeff Garcia and the Eagles to victories over a slew of NFC rivals, including the Carolina Panthers, Washington Redskins, New York Giants, and Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles won the NFC East Division title, as well as an NFC wild-card game against the New York Giants. Their season ended at the hands of an opportune New Orleans Saints team in the NFC divisional round ride with the Philadelphia Eagles at the team's training camp at Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania in August. A ride with Eagles quarterback coach Doug Peterson left and Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb. August. In the 2007 season, Reid led the Eagles to end season with no appearance in the postseason. In the 2008 season, Reid's Eagles managed to knock off the defending Super Bowl champions, the New York Giants, in the divisional game, leading the Eagles to a fifth NFC Championship game, where they lost to the Arizona Cardinals by a score of. He coached the NFC to a win in the 2009 Pro Bowl. However, the team was devastated by the loss of Jim Johnson, who had been the defensive coordinator for Reid's entire career and had helped turn the Eagles into one of the NFL's elite defenses in the 2009 season. Reid failed to win a first-round postseason game for the first time in his career, with his Eagles being eliminated by the first-place Dallas Cowboys by a score of in the wild card round. Over the offseason, the Eagles traded longtime starting quarterback Donovan McNabb to the Redskins. After Week 2 of the 2010 season, Reid named Michael Vick the starting quarterback of the Eagles. In the 2010 season, Reid led the Eagles to record in the regular season and qualified for the playoffs. In the wild card round against the Green Bay Packers, the Eagles fell. Reid was named the Earl Greasy Neal Award winner for the third time in the 2011 season. Reid led the Eagles to end season with no appearance in the postseason. In the 2012 season, Reid and the Eagles struggled to a record, the worst of his head coaching tenure. The year also marked the first time the Eagles missed the postseason in consecutive years under Reid. On December 31, 2012, the day after the season ended with an embarrassing loss to the New York Giants, Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie announced that Reid's contract would not be renewed. Reid was the longest-tenured head coach in the NFL prior to his release. Reid provided encouragement to his successor as Eagles head coach. Chip Kelly. Lurie said that Reid's induction into the Philadelphia Eagles Hall of Fame was inevitable, and players gave their former coach a standing ovation during his last meeting with them. During his 14-year tenure with the Eagles, Reid compiled the best win total 120, winning percentage 0.609, and playoff victory total 10 in team history. He captured 6 division titles and 5 trips to the NFC Championship game. During this period, no other franchise earned more divisional playoff round appearances, 7, and only Bill Belichick's New England Patriots exceeded Philadelphia's 5 conference championship game appearances with 6. Despite his success, however, Reid was ultimately unable to lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl title. Reid sent 19 players to 44 Pro Bowl appearances, the highest total for any team in the NFL during that period. None of these players had ever appeared in a Pro Bowl before Reid was hired. Since 1990, only 14 first-time head coaches remained with their original team for 8 or more years. Reid, Tennessee's Jeff Fisher, Brian Billick with Baltimore, Bill Cowher with Pittsburgh, Dennis Green with Minnesota, Tom Coughlin with Jacksonville, Jack Del Rio with Jacksonville, Cincinnati's Marvin Lewis, Green Bay's Mike McCarthy, New Orleans's Sean Payton, Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin present, Baltimore's John Harbaugh present, Dallas's Jason Garrett, and Minnesota's Mike Zimmer. Reid expected the Eagles to not extend him and was already preparing to hire a new coaching staff. 3 teams reportedly had airplanes in Philadelphia to fly him to interviews. On January 4, 2013, Reid reached a 5-year contract agreement to become the head coach of the Chiefs. On the same day, the Chiefs fired general manager Scott Pioli. Originally, Reid's contract made him the final authority in football matters, the same power he had in Philadelphia. A week later, however, the Chiefs hired John Dorsey, who had previously worked with Reid as an assistant in Green Bay, as general manager. Reid and Chiefs owner Clark Hunt announced that Dorsey would have the final say in personnel matters. On the same day, Hunt announced that Reid and Dorsey would report to him on an equal basis. In the past, Chiefs coaches reported to the general manager in Reid's first game as head coach. The Chiefs beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was the widest margin of victory for the Chiefs on opening day since they defeated the Denver Broncos in 1963 by a score of in Week 3. Reid returned to Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia for a Thursday night football game between the Chiefs and his former team, the Philadelphia Eagles. As Reid walked out onto the field before the game started, the crowd gave him a standing ovation. The Chiefs went on to win, and Reid received a Gatorade shower from his team. Reid went on to lead the Chiefs to a record to start the season, tied for the best start in franchise history. Despite losing 5 of their last 7 games, the Chiefs finished with a record to clinch a wild-card spot in the AFC playoffs. In the wild-card round, they were defeated by the Indianapolis Colts after surrendering a 28-point lead in the third quarter. Under Reid, the Chiefs would again obtain a winning record in the 2014 season, finishing, however, They failed to qualify for the playoffs in 2015. The Chiefs were in danger of missing the playoffs for a second consecutive year after they lost 5 straight games to begin the season. Reid accepted the blame for his team's poor start, and his future with the Chiefs was called into question. However, the Chiefs won every remaining regular season game, finishing with a record and a wild card spot in the AFC playoffs. Reid would go on to lead the Chiefs to their first playoff win since the 1993 season in a shutout of the Houston Texans, but the team was defeated in their divisional round game against the New England Patriots. Prior to the loss, the Chiefs posted an 11-game winning streak, which is the best in franchise history. Reid was criticized for his clock management near the end of the game, calling no timeouts in a late fourth-quarter drive that cut the Patriots' lead down to a touchdown, but took the Chiefs 5 minutes and 16 seconds to score and left them with only a minute and 13 seconds to try and tie the game. Reid improved in the regular season with the 2016 Chiefs, who finished with a record and clinched their division for the first time since 2010, as well as for the first time under Reid. The Chiefs went undefeated against their AFC West rivals to secure the division title on a tiebreaker with the Oakland Raiders and obtain a first-round bye in the playoffs as the second seed. The bye was the Chiefs' first since, despite the team's regular season success, the Chiefs were eliminated in the divisional round for a second consecutive year and lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Although the Chiefs were able to prevent the Steelers from scoring any touchdowns, they were unable to match the 6 field goals Pittsburgh converted. The Chiefs started strong during the 2017 season, winning their first 5 games to become the NFL's last remaining undefeated team, including a victory against defending Super Bowl champions New England Patriots in the kickoff game. After their strong start, the Chiefs lost 6 of their next 7 games, resulting in Reid conceding playing duties to offensive coordinator Matt Nagy. Nevertheless, the Chiefs won their last 4 games to finish and clinch the AFC West for a second consecutive year, the first back-to-back division titles in franchise history. However, the team ultimately suffered a 6th consecutive home playoff loss in a defeat against the Tennessee Titans in the wild card round. Despite holding a lead at halftime, the Chiefs were shut out during the second half as the Titans scored 19 unanswered points to win the game. Ride with the Kansas City Chiefs in August 20,182,018 saw new success for Reid and the Chiefs, aided by the MVP season of quarterback Patrick Mahomes in his first year as the primary starter. The Chiefs finished the regular season as a top seed for the first time since 1997 and the first time with Reid as head coach by matching his record. Reid also extended the franchise record for consecutive division titles through clinching the AFC West for a 3rd straight year. The Chiefs subsequently ended their home playoff losing streak by defeating the Indianapolis Colts in the divisional round, the first postseason win at home since 1994. With the victory, the Chiefs hosted the AFC Championship for the first time in franchise history, which they lost to the eventual Super Bowl LII champion New England Patriots in overtime. During the season, Reid recorded his 200th victory to become one of only 9 NFL head coaches to win 200 games. With his 206th win at the end of the regular season, Reid also surpassed Marty Schottenheimer for the most wins of an NFL head coach to not win a championship. The Chiefs again finished in 2019 to win the AFC West for a 4th consecutive year, and after defeating the Houston Texans in the divisional round, hosted the AFC Championship for a 2nd consecutive year upon securing an appearance in Super Bowl LIV with their victory over the Tennessee Titans. Reid became one of only 7 head coaches to lead 2 different franchises to a Super Bowl, and the Chiefs made their first Super Bowl appearance since Super Bowl IV in 1970. The 15-year gap between Reid's first and second Super Bowls is the second longest after Dick Vermeil's 19 years. The Chiefs went on to defeat the San Francisco 49ers, earning the franchise their first Super Bowl victory in 50 years and Reid's first as a head coach. Reid signed a contract extension with the Chiefs during their bye week in the 2020 season. At the time, the Chiefs were leading the AFC West with a record. 3 weeks later, they became the first AFC team to secure a playoff berth for the season. Kansas City finished with a league best record to secure the top seed. The record marked the best in franchise history, in addition to being Reid's best as a head coach. During the postseason, The Chiefs defeated the Cleveland Browns in the divisional round and the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship to advance to Super Bowl LV against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their second consecutive Super Bowl appearance. The game ended in a loss, with the Chiefs failing to score a touchdown and losing by double digits for the first time under Mahomes following a Week 4 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles in 2021. Reid became the first NFL head coach to win 100 games with two different franchises. However, the Chiefs began the season, their first losing record since 2015. Nevertheless, they won 9 of their 10 remaining games, including an 8-game winning streak to clinch the AFC West and the seed. Reid also won his 227th game to surpass Curly Lambeau as the NFL's 5th most winningest coach. In the playoffs, the Chiefs advanced to their 4th consecutive AFC Championship game after defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers and Buffalo Bills, making Reid the first head coach to lead two different franchises to 4 consecutive conference championship games. The Chiefs lost the game to the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime after surrendering a lead, which was tied with the 2006 Indianapolis Colts comeback against the New England Patriots as the largest in a conference championship. Head coaching record. Coaching tree. 11 of Reid's coaching assistants have become head coaches in the NFL: Brett Childress, Minnesota Vikings; John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens; Present Steve Spagnuolo, St. Louis Rams; New York Giants 2017, interim Leslie Frazier; Minnesota Vikings 2010, interim Ron Rivera; Carolina Panthers; Washington Football Team Commanders; Present Pat Shurmur; Cleveland Browns; Philadelphia Eagles 2015, interim New York Giants Todd Bowles; New York Jets; Tampa Bay Buccaneers; Present Doug Peterson; Philadelphia Eagles; Jacksonville Jaguars; Present Sean McDermott; Buffalo Bills; Present Matt Nagy; Chicago Bears David Culley; Houston Texans 2021. One former player under Reid has become a head coach in the NFL: DeMeco Ryans; Houston Texans. Present. Personal life. Reid is married with 5 children, comprising 3 sons and 2 daughters. Reid and his family are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Reid's oldest son, Garrett, died of a heroin overdose on August 5, 2012. Brett, his youngest son, served under his father until he was not offered a new contract after the 2020 season following his arrest. Reid has appeared in commercials for State Farm with Patrick Mahomes. Reid admitted he was reluctant, but Mahomes convinced his coach, calling him a natural at comedy.